Today we are talking about the things I wish to know about motorcycles before I start my motorcycle journey. So first thing to know is that the tires will be eaten as crazy. This is due to that all torque and performance being transferred by only one tire down to the ground. Usually, realistically, depends obviously of your riding style. My tire lasts me something in between 3 and 6 months. The second thing will be maintenance. Again, due to all that power and performance, the bike will require much more frequent maintenance interval. On this Juke, I do maintenance somewhere in between 3,000 and 5,000 miles. Personally, I like to do maintenance, oil replacement and filter replacement earlier, just to be on a safe side. Because this is small engine displacement, it's 390 and is working much harder. That might be something to consider before buying a motorcycle. Personally, I do everything maintenance-wise myself on this bike, only because it's very simple and cheap to do so. If you don't have resources in place to do so, you might have to visit your mechanic, and that will have to be done much more often than like your car.
Practically, you need a different bike for different job. There are many different types of bikes, from this naked to sport bike to tour bike, etc. Now, think about how you're gonna use your bike, what you're gonna use it for. Are you commuting? Are you like riding around the city? Or you're gonna be touring long distances? Or whatever that is, it might be worth asking yourself that question and get the right bike for you. So, for example, I ride the naked bike, but as you can see, I have this huge top box on the back, and now this top box is not ideal because this bike is not really made for this. It caused me lots of problems. I mean, it's huge, but I struggle with mounting this thing. Suspension gets a beating because of that, because this is a small bike. But if I would get something like, I don't know, like a tourer or like generally speaking bigger bike, I wouldn't have all of them problems. Basically, with ideal world, you would have few bikes for different applications. So, for example, if you're going for the weekend on the seaside or whatever you wanna go outside of the city, you would take your big, beautiful tourer, something like BMW GS or GSX or I don't know, the Triumph Tiger, or generally speaking tourer, which have much more storage space. It's much more comfortable, the sitting position is comfortable, the seat is wider.
So I'm just editing this video and I completely forgot the one so obvious thing, which was not so obvious when I was about to start riding, which is you can use bus lanes. Obviously that will apply differently, depends where you live, but from London perspective here in UK, most of the bus lanes you are allowed to be on. Not everyone, therefore you need to keep an eye on signs, because from time to time we are getting the tickets for the bus lanes, unfortunately, although I've heard they are working on some kind of the law that will allow us bikers to be on every single bus lane.
You need to be much more conscious about the weather. Lucky enough, the winter here in England is not terrible. I am able to ride full season. This is my first full season I did. You will need some additionals like heated grips, proper clothing and all that gear that will get you through the winter. But generally speaking, you need to be prepared all the time, because on the bike you are either prepared or you gone. Boy, I got caught in the heavy rain with no gear and I never experienced this coldness. I came across hypothermia maybe twice on the bike because of the lack of preparation, and that's the lesson I've learned hard way. Take my mistakes and learn from them, because trust me, you don't wanna be caught in a bad weather condition with no gear. So even when it's nice sunny day like today, I'm already thinking, is it gonna be raining? What's the temperature is gonna be in the evening when I'm gonna be coming back? When you're on a motorbike, even when it's 20, 22, 24 degrees outside and it's nice and hot, you're sweating. When you jump on the bike and when you start riding 30, 40, 50 miles an hour, the temperature will decrease massively and you might even feel cold. So that's why often there is nice sunny weather and I am riding in hoodies and in multiple layers. Additional thing that I wanted to say is that no one gives a that you're riding a bike, period. No matter what bike you own, no matter how good you ride, how fancy you are, how good looking you are on this bike, and with all that shiny gear, whatever you have, no one gives a flying what you ride and if you ride and why you ride. So if your reason is to show off, I can tell you now and here that no one cares, bro, so don't flex.
My favorite thing about bikes and biking is that the parking is free. Even if it's not free, this is such a tiny thing, like almost the size of the bicycle. You can squeeze it anywhere. Talking from a London perspective, in Central Zone, which is probably the most expensive when it comes to parking, for the car, for a day, for like say 8 hours here in London in Central Zone, you're looking to pay something in between 50 to 80 pounds. For the motorbike is only £1.50, and on the top of that you have to pay something what's called congestion charge, which is not applicable for bikes, is free. And on the top of that, Dartford Crossing, this is a big bridge, it's called Queen Elizabeth Bridge above the Thames, and every time you pass the bridge or you ride through the tunnel, because one way is bridge and the other way is a tunnel, you have to pay for the car about £3.50. Obviously the bike is free. So another thing that I love about motorbikes, which was not so obvious when I was starting this, is that you're gonna meet a bunch of people. On the beginning you're gonna have tons of joy anyway with like riding solo, but after a while you will start seeking riding with other riders. This is like another layer of that joy. My tip from you is basically just Google the most popular bikers place in your city, in your area. Just go there, hang there for a bit, and if you will find some bikers there, just chat with them, and your common subject will be just obviously the motorcycles, because there is like those conversations are really never ending. Yeah, you will meet ton and ton of people, all sorts of people, and this is just a beautiful thing about motorcycling. Okay, so another thing which is not so obvious is that you will have to spend lots of money and effort to protect this thing. Because of its size, it's very easy to be stolen, so you will have to spend money for the locks, chains, trackers. The more the better, but yeah, that's something to keep in mind, and especially here in London, thousands of bikes being stolen all the time. And one of the solutions is to insure your bike from being stolen. But something what is not obvious again and worth to know is that if you will claim that your motorbike was stolen, and if you will try to get your money back, the insurance company will do everything whatever they can to not pay you that money back. If they will pay you that money back, later on your insurance prices increase so high that they will get those money back sooner or later. This is basically another business that is focused on making the money run rather than spending the money, and that's something what is not so obvious for many people for some weird reason. So the last thing I would like to talk about, you will discover new places or even rediscover the existing places. So on the bike, the city will have a completely different flavor. Everything will look different, and because you will be hanging with your new friends, they will start showing you interesting places, cool places to go. That's something not so obvious, but it will definitely happen for you. Along with the friends, you will find new cool places to hang, because motorcycling is about meeting your friends on a spot, then riding with them to another spot, then hanging with them for a bit there, and then changing the spot. One of the coolest spots here in London, which is very obvious and you can Google it, will be obviously the Bike Shed. I highly recommend you to go to Bike Shed because it's such a cool place. So you can ride your motorcycle inside of the restaurant. It's actually a club, but if you would like to know not so obvious place to go here in London, just drop me a comment and I will recommend you a few spots.
If you like this content, please support me. Like, you know what to do, I don't need to tell you. Any support will be much appreciated. It gives me a joy and I want to provide enough value. That's why I'm asking, please let me know what would you like to see in the future, or what you didn't like about this video, so I can learn from my mistakes and we can all grow and improve ourselves. For the time being, I would like to thank you very much for being here,
and I will see you in the next video.
Safe ride.